Next, we have to discuss about the companies based on the liability of members, that is, companies limited by shares, companies limited by guarantee, and unlimited companies. So, the Indian economy has a variety of companies existing in its market, such as public companies, private companies, investment companies, limited by companies. These numerous entities in the market may look different from each other on the surface, but based upon certain identifiable common characteristics, they can be grouped into below mentioned classifications. This article aims to draw your attention towards the conventional classification of the companies that are made based upon factors such as liability control, incorporation, transferability of shares, etc. And the companies can be classified on the basis of based upon their mode of their operation and incorporation process, which is defined as section 7 of the Companies Act 2013. Incorporation is the day when the company actually acquires a legal entity, that is the day when a company takes birth in the eyes of the law. Section 2 of the Companies Act 2013 define the various kinds of companies and their facets. First one is classification of companies on the basis of incorporation, that is Royal Charter Company. It may be better understood as the company born out of the authorization of the sovereign or the crown. This was the mode of incorporation which was followed earlier to the registration under the Companies Act. A charter is granted by the crown to the people requesting to form a cooperative or a company. To name a few, the Bank of England, the East India Company were formed by the means of charter passed by their Crown of England. The authorization given by the sovereign gives legal existence to these companies by means of the body of the charter. This mode of incorporation is no more recognized in any Companies Act to incorporate new companies. Statutory company means, as the name suggests itself, if the statute of origin of these companies provide power to such companies to be bound and by their own statute. Wherever there is a dispute between statute under these companies were formed and the Companies Act 2013. The statute being special legislation persists over the general law of the Companies Act. The parliaments, both state and central, are empowered to make such legislation for the incorporation under the power endowed to them by the Constitution of India. Classification on the companies on the basis of liability of members. The liability upon the members is also used to classify the companies. It describes the limit to which members will be liable. If such liability were to behalf of upon the company, on the basis of liability of companies, companies may be classified into companies limited by shares. These type of companies are mentioned in section 2 subsection 22 of the Companies Act 2013. The liability of the members of such a company is based upon the number of shares kept unpaid. This liability against the shares uh, may be bought to the authority. Once the payment towards the security is made by the shareholders or members, then no liability beyond that is placed upon such member. The liability may be enforced during the company's existence and even during its winding up process. Companies limited by guarantee. These type of companies are mentioned in section 22 to subsection 21 of the Companies Act. In a company where the liability is limited by guarantee, it means the member of company has agreed to the memorandum of association to repay the same amount during the winding up of such company. In such companies, the liability of members is limited to the undertaking given by them. Trust, research, association, etc. are examples of such a companies limited by guarantee. Unlimited company. These companies are defined under section 2 subsection 92 of the Companies Act 2013. Do not have a cap on the amount of liability that may add on their members. In case the company has to repay any debt for any amount that the company owes these members, the unlimited liability company shall be liable to the extent of their interest in the company. These companies do not draw any popularity when it comes to the Indian market. So these are the classifications of companies based on the liability of members. Such was first one is company limited by shares, second one is companies limited by guarantee, and third one is unlimited companies. In unlimited companies, they shall be liable to the extent of their interest in the company, and these companies do not draw any popularity. That is, a liability of the members is not in proportion to the investment in their company. These are known as unlimited companies. So these are the companies based on the liability of members. Thank you.